हरि ओम. आधारभूता जगतस्त्वमेका महिस्वरूपेण यतस्थितासि अपां स्वरूपा स्थितया त्वयैतत् आप्यायते कृत्स्नमलङ्घ्य वीर्ये. The meaning is also given. The goddess as earth. The earth goddess we didn't discuss, Aditi or Bhumi. We have it from the Vedic literature. So this is the goddess as earth is described as the substratum. Adharabhuta Jagatastvameka. She is the whole only substratum for the all creation. She is in the form of water, Apam Swarupa, which is all pervasive. Apyayate Kritsnamidam Alanghavirye. Tvam Vaishnavi Shakti Anantavirya. She is the Shakti of Vishnu, Anantavirya. Vishwasya Bijam Paramasi Maya. She is the ultimate power of illusion, which deludes us, Maya, the bewitching power, of the world. Sammohitam Devi Samastametad Tvam Vai Prasanna Bhuvi Mukti Hetuhu. When she is pleased, she gives mukti. Okay? Vidyas samasta tavadevi bhedaha. All the vidyas, ashtadasha vidyasthana, chaturdasha vidyaha, all are your own forms, different forms. Striyas samasta sakala jagatsu, and all the women in the world, we are all Devi Ansha. Okay? Take pride in that. Be proud of that. Striyas samasta sakala jagatsu tvaya ekaya puritam ambaya etat. O Amba, tvaya ekaya ambaya. By this alone, one mother, puritam etat sarvam jagat. Kate stutihi stavya para paroktihi. So how can I praise you? You are beyond all the words. I can't praise you further. Okay? So that is the invocation I wanted to start with. So now these are all we did in the morning. Only a few pictures were there, like Usha. I compared. University professor normally have this habit, what to do. So the Greek Eos, Usha could be compared with Greek Eos or Roman Aurora and some pictures and all. Like this picture, Parvati with Ganesha and Skanda. She is going to attend some marriage. Tomorrow I am also going to attend some marriage. Okay. So Puranic goddess. Now the Vedic period, we have come across the Vedic period. Now we have landed in the Puranic age, which is post-Vedic period, you can see. Okay, this is post-Vedic period. Normally from Christian era to 15th century, the Puranas were being written. Purana is a group of literature. Some people say, there is this Purana, the word occurs in Chandogya Upanishad as well. So Purana is as old as the Vedas, but the definition of that is Puranavam iti Puranam. Whatever is old, but stated, re-narrated newly, that becomes Purana. And therefore that re-narration took place till, say, 15th century. So that doesn't mean that Puranas are new and Veda is old. In Vedas also there were Purana. Purana is Aitihya, Purana is Katha, the legends, the ballads, okay? So all that was there. But then it was told and retold time and again, right? And therefore Puranavam bhavati iti Puranam. And then in this Puranic era, we have the three trinity of gods, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesha. And as we said, there are spouses. In the Vedas also we had spouses for Indra, Indrani, Varuna, Varunani. So for these three gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha, the three spouses, they are their Shaktis. That is how the Shakti worship started, as first primarily as the spouse of the god. So for Brahma it is Saraswati, for Vishnu it is Mahalakshmi, and for Shiva it is Parvati, right? And then various narratives and legends were, they emerged around all these. And then rivers also transformed into goddesses, special cult of mother goddess. So this is just a preamble of what we are going to discuss. So mother goddess, etc. also we'll discuss today. Constructive as well as destructive, I told you, the benign and malign are the two forms of the Shakti. The Shakti could be put to use for constructive uses as well as for destructive, like the atomic power. It could be used for construction, it could be used for destruction, right? So Shakti basically could be used in both ways, Vidhayaka and Vinashaka, both ways. Diseases are also termed as goddesses. They are the Vighataka or Vinashaka Shakti. Then the chicken pox, smallpox, they are called Devi. They are called Devi. And then we go to Shitala Mata, to pacify. So that they are also called Devi. So the diseases are also called Devi. Then rites performed to pacify these Devis. Pacificatory rites for rivers also in floods, etc. Regular worship. So all these different aspects we see. So basically these three forms we are seeing, and in that also I will concentrate only on the last, the Shiva Shakti and the three forms of Shakti. Okay. Like Parvati, Annapurna, Durga and Kali. Okay. Because it's too vast a topic, I can't do all justice to all. So I will do only Shiva Shakti. So Vishnu is Vaishnavi Shakti, Shiva is Shaivi or Shambhavi Shakti, Shambhu Shambhavi, like that. These are the female counterparts basically. But later on, they attain supremacy and individuality. How it happened? Mahishasuramardini, for example, we know that all the gods came together and they offered their own weapons to her and equipped her. The Mahishasura, no, he became invincible, that Mahisha demon, right? And no god was able to kill him. And then they all came together, their brightness, their Shakti came together, and that's how Mahishasuramardini emerged with the instruments and ayudhas of all the gods. So these Puranic goddesses, Brahmi is bright, the creative force, because Brahma is the creator. So Brahmi is equated with the creative force. Vaishnavi, Brahmi is Brahmani or Saraswati or Sharada, always decked in white, right? Always decked in white. And Sattva Guna, Vaishnavi, Rajoguna, dynamism, and this is for the sustenance and maintenance of the universe. Vishnu is the maintainer, right? And therefore Vaishnavi, red colored, protective. And Raudri, black colored, that is destructive. This is the tri-colored, Trikala form, which we have here in Chotanikara, very close to our Adi Shankara Nilayam. Many of you are new, I heard today. How many of you are new? Quite a few members, yeah. So do visit the Chotanikara Bhagavati temple here. Consult anybody who are like frequent visitors to Adi Shankara Nilayam, they can guide you. So there it so happened that this Bhagavati there, in the morning she is Saraswati. She is all attired in white. And there is a story behind that of Adi Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya requested Sharadamba to come with him from Kashmir. And then she came, and while they were walking, she said that when you stop, I will stop, right? And you should not turn back to see whether I am following you or not. And Shankaracharya, it is said that he turned back to see whether she is following him, and that kshetram was Mukambika in Karnataka, and so she stopped there. And then she said, I am not going further. But he said, you have promised me, you have to come with me. And then she said, I will come, but only for an hour I will be there. Whole day I will be in Mukambika, and therefore in Chotanikara, only for the morning hour she is Saraswati. After her puja here, the doors of Mukambika are opened in Karnataka. That is the linkage. Right to Adi Shankaracharya, where we are seated now here, Adi Shankara Nilayam. So you must feel blessed that you are in that kshetra, the Pavana kshetra, who brought this Trikala form to us. So that is Saraswati. Whole day long she is Ambe Narayani in red garments, and in the evening, Pradoshakala, she becomes Kali or Bhagavati, and then Mula cow and all that, and so many other things, like the Atharva Vedic Atharvana Kriyas are also held there, the Gurutti Puja and so many other things are there. So that is the Trikala form. Tricolor equates her with Prakriti, because Prakriti is Trigunatmika, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, and they represent the bright white, red and the dark color, black color, and this is what the Trikala form is. So she is the Mula Maya or the Mula Prakriti, we can say, and the entire Charachara Jagat is pervaded by her. She is the foundation of all the existing things. Devi holds us, hand holds us, she cajoles us, comforts us like a baby. She is a mother and we are her child. Like that, she nourishes us. And at the same time, she is equipped with that power with which she can destroy all the evils. The way a mother protects the child during the illness, she guards him, she takes care of him, nurtures him, and whatever the child wants, she won't say no, howsoever tired she may be. But for the child, she goes an extra mile to cater to the needs of the child. So is Bhagavati for us. So destroying evils, bestowing Daivi Sampat and all that. So these are, and leading to spiritual wisdom are the three main duties of Devi. The three main things which Devi does is destroying the evils, and it could be Shumbha Nishumbha Vada, Rakta Bija Vada, Mahishasura Vada, whatever. And then bestowing Daivi Sampat, Daivi and Asuri Sampat, in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And then leading us to spiritual wisdom. She is the one who handholds us to the highest light. And therefore it is the triple form. The Trikala form could be explained in many ways. It is Sattva Rajas Tama, it is Brahmi Vaishnavi Raudri, it is these three duties, functional similarity, color similarity, Nama similarity. Like, when Shardananji talks about stotras, he starts with the Dhama stotras, then Rupa stotras, then Guna stotras, Nama stotras. Like that, so many variations are there, and we can have all these things. So it's a benign or kind, compassionate form, which is our Parvati, Mata Annapurneshwari. Then independent, firm, determined, multitasking. I will relate all these to the women later on when we come to Devi and women. Okay, and free, defiant, aggressive, at times very fierce. So these are the three forms which we are seeing today. This is the first one, Parvati. The very benign, very homely. She is a homemaker. She is a coy, shy. She is always in the background. It is Shiva who is in the forefront. If you go to any Shivalaya, do you see any different shrine for Parvati? In Maharashtra at least, there now here Amman temple is there. In Kerala I have seen, but in Maharashtra, Konadyat Ubhi, there is one Konada, one small space behind the Shivapindi, and there in a small place, Annapurna is there with her ladle and spoon. Okay, Pali Panchapatra te gyeun. Okay, so two hands holding a ladle and a vessel, Annapurna, and she is Amba, Jagat Janani. She is the motherly figure. Okay, but she is basically the consort of Shiva. She is basically the wife, the beloved wife of Shiva, and then a mother also of Skanda Swami and Ganesha, and no separate vehicle for her. Do you see Parvati riding Nandi all alone? She is always at the back seat. Shiva rides Nandi, Parvati is seated behind. Okay? And this is the reason why in Kalidasa's Kumara Sambhava, Shiva comes in the form of a Batu to test Parvati's austerity, right? Do you know that part? Yes. And he goes on accusing and blaming. What sort of person Shiva you are going to marry? Do you know how he lives? He lives in the smashana. He doesn't have proper clothes. Gaja charma, Vyaghra charma. The Gaja charma he is wearing, the blood is dripping from that. What a heinous sight, repulsive sight. Do you want to marry such a person? You are a princess. You are born as a princess of Oshadhi Prastha Nagari, the capital city of the king Himalaya. Himalaya is the king of all the mountains. You are a princess. What is your yogyata? What do you deserve? There should be a flowery carpet for you wherever you go. You should ride an Indra's Airavata. And you will be riding after marriage. Bharat kaise niklegi? On that Buddha Nandi? That Jarad Gava, it is Jarad Gava, Jarad, aging Gava, that bull. So just imagine how people will look at you. He will be having all bhasma and your body is anointed with chandana. Does it have a good match? You are wearing nice pattu sari and all, and he is wearing that thick bark cloth or charma and all, how would you tie the knot? How would you tie the knot? Right? I mean, so many contrasting things he brings out. This is not a proper match for you. Please give up this determination that you want to marry Shiva. So he does all those things, and then she says, enough is enough now. I have heard enough of you. The person who accuses Shiva is guilty, is a sinner. But one who listens to that is equally a sinner. Let me not listen to any more the accusations against my Ishtadevata. Let me go from here. And she wants to go. That time Shiva comes in his original form. Swarupamasthaya cha sthitaha. And then her position was, Kalidasa describes it in such a wonderful manner. He creates a pen picture, a word visual in front of you. She is about to go. She has lifted one foot, okay, because she wants to move from there. And that time he is standing there in front of her. You can't say she is moving, she is going. You can't say she is standing because both her feet are not on ground. You can't say she is moving because she hasn't placed her foot next. Shailadhirajatanaya nayayau natastau. Shailadhirajatanaya. She neither went nor she stood there, because when Shiva came in that very form, which she was aspiring for. Beautiful descriptions, right? So she is like Gauri, Shakambhari, Girija and all that. I said basically she is a consort. There is a nice Subhashita. I'll make it more interesting, because after lunch, after tea, after bhaji pakoda, you may get an inclination to doze off. So once what happened, Shiva, this Girija is at home, and Shiva comes from outside and knocks at the door. No peepholes. Okay. So he knocks at the door. She says, Kastvam, who are you? He says, Shuli. Shuli, one who holds Trishula. But Shula in Sanskrit means Vedana, pain. Mastaka Shula, Udara Shula, Bahu Shula, Pada Shula. Shula is any pain or agony, right? So she said, go to a doctor, why have you come here? Kastvam Shuli Mrigaya Bhishayam. Go to a doctor, this is not the place for you. Then he took it that she is in a mood of prank, right? And so he said, no, I'll tell some different name. Neelakantaha Priyeham. Oh Priye, oh beloved, oh darling. I am Neelakantha. You know the story of Neelakantha, right? In the Samudra Mathana. But Neelakantha also means a Mayura, a peacock. Then she says, Kekam ekam kuru. Go and do Keka Rava. Why are you here? Kekam ekam kuru. Then he says, Sthanuhu Mugdhe. I am Sthanu, oh Mugdhe, oh innocent lady. I am Sthanu. Sthanu is that linga form, which came out from the pillar, the Arunachala linga, etc. The Lingodbhava story basically, Arunachala lingam. So I am Sthanu, but Sthanu also means the trunk of a tree or a stambha, pillar. She says, Na vadati taruhu. The taru, the tree doesn't speak. How you are speaking? Sthanuhu mugdhe. Then he says, okay, Jiviteshaha Shivayaha. I am the very soul of Shiva. Shiva is Parvati. I am the very heart and soul and everything, Jivita Ishaha of Shiva. But Shiva also means a fox. Then she says, Gachatavim iti hatavachaha chandrachudaha patuvaha. What beautiful verses, right? So, such verses are there. So, this is the couple. I say not one of the couples. This is the couple in the entire pantheon of the Puranic gods, which, we can relate to. Husband, wife, beech mein jhagda hota hai. They play. In the playing, somebody cheats. They play this fasa, chaturanga. They play chaturanga. Now you can Google for that Krida Dharohara. First lecture was, my lecture was there. And I have quoted from the Ajanta Ellora caves. There are two very beautiful carvings, the sculptures in the Ellora caves, where Shiva Parvati are playing and Shiva caught her cheating. She cheating, right? Parvati cheating, and Shiva caught her and he holds her hand. And that she is like, ऐसे तकिए को ऐसे करके बैठी है Parvati. Her sakhis are fanning her. Somebody is braiding, her hair. All that. And she is like, करो क्या करना है, like, and he holds her hand and then puts one finger like this. So I caught you cheating. So that could have multiple meanings, I caught you cheating, or either you win or I win. We are only one. So many beautiful things are there. Okay, and then we have Skanda and Ganesha, and they both come. They fight amongst themselves. Two siblings, and where do they go? To the mother. Not to the father to resolve the fights. So once Ganesha comes there, crying, Hey Ramba, Kimamba, Rodishi Katham, why are you crying? Karnau luthati Agnibhuhu. My ears are being, pricked by Agnibhu or Agribhu, the Agraja, my dada, my elder brother, is pulling my ears. Elephant ears, na? Ganesha. So big ears to pull, right? So, Karnau Luthatyagnibu. Then she will ask him, Kimte skanda vicheshtitam? What this, why are you mocking and why are you troubling your younger brother? You should be like elderly brother. You should take care of him, He is younger to you. Kimte skanda vicheshtitam? Then he says, Mama pura sankhya krita chakshusha. Skanda has 6 faces. So 12 eyes. Now this Bala Ganesha, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. He has only 2 eyes. Mama pura sankhya krita chakshusha. Then she again asks, Naitatte pyuchitam gajasya te charitam na uchitam. This behavior of yours, you should not make, mockery of your elder brother like this. This is very wrong. Then he says, what do I do? Nasa mimi tembame. He measures my nose, the trunk. So these two children are fighting, and iti hatavacha Parvati patuvaha. So this is what I mean to say is, she is a typical Shiva and Parvati. Parvati in this form. In this form, she is the very, very benign factor, a housewife, a mother, a feeder, a nourisher, a caretaker, a protector. Okay, that is her form. So in that form, you can have Shakambhari, vegetation, nourishing aspect. Shakambhari, Girija, Bhavani, Maheshwari, Dakshayani, Aparna, Sarvamangala Mangalya, Sarvamangala. All these are different things. There is no separate shrine for Parvati. There is no separate Vahana for Parvati. And she is always behind Shiva. And she is happy with that. She is all submissive. But she is very, very happy with that. That is a typical homemaker, a housewife in Indian household. One who is not working. One who doesn't have an independent thoughts. She always depends upon her husband. When want to go for shopping and all, she will depend upon her husband. Her husband will buy sari for her. She won't go all alone for shopping with her friends. She is totally dependent. She works like a shadow of her husband, and she has pleasure in that surrendering. She has pleasure. She is not complaining that, oh, she doesn't have anything new for her. My husband has a car, I don't have a car. Right? She doesn't have any complaint. She doesn't demand any individual attention for herself. That is not today's, some 20-30 years back, the homemaker in Indian society. Right? I want to relate it that way. So she symbolizes fertility, mother of 2 children, right? Then motherly attitude symbolizes conjugal love, happiness, marital felicity, devotion to spouse, source of all powers of Shiva. She is the Shakti behind Shiva. Shiva can do whatever he can because Parvati is there, his Shakti is there, and this is the mild form of femininity. This is the mildest form of the femininity, feminine gender. obedient disciple of Shiva. Shiva tells her the Ramayana, Adhyatma Ramayana. She calmly, quietly listens to that. Okay? Shiva tells her the glories of Rama. She quietly listens to that. And sometimes she wants to test. Once it so happened, Rama was in the forest. Sita is being abducted by Ravana. Rama is lamenting. And he is seated under a tree with Lakshmana, waiting for the rainy season to get over in the Kishkinda Kanda of Ramayana. And once the rainy season gets over, Sugriva will send his army in search of Sita. That was the contract between both of them. And that's why he killed Vali. And Sugriva regained his lost glory and all that. So she said, once to Shiva that let me go and check how loyal Rama is. Sita Mata is practicing austerity there under the Ashoka tree there in the Lanka. Everybody knows that. But men are little bit fickle by nature. And therefore she said, let me go and test. So she went there and stood in front of him in the form of Sita, thinking that Rama will come forward and hug her, and talk all loving things to her. But Rama said, oh mother, please come and bless me. Ye Mai. And that becomes Yamai of Satara in Maharashtra, which is the Kula Devata of Mahulikars. Yamai. So that is the story. Ye Mai. Ye, come. Mai, Amba. So she is that form, the Amba form. The mother form, the motherly figure for all, even for the gods, she is the motherly figure. That is her glory. So she could be compared to the Greek Olympian gods Hera. Hera could be a counterpart of Uma Parvati, a sister wife of Zeus. She was his sister, then later on wife. In Olympia also all these things are there, okay. We just accuse our Hindu deities and Puranas, what type of relations you have, Brahma going around and having incestual behavior for his own daughter and all. Why nobody speaks about the Olympian gods? You have to think, it is not just a comparison level. I can go on like an anthropomorphic form or the anthropology area. This refers to a kinless society, where there were no relations like mother, father, like Adam and Eve. What is Adam and Eve? Adam created Eve from his own rib. Isn't she his daughter? Right? So this refers to a society when society had not any formulated rules as marriage as an institution and all that. So that refers to that era when creation was most important and only the man and the woman or Nara and the Nari were the important things. Anyhow, so motherly figure of Olympian gods is Hera. She is always surrounded by kids. She and her husband and surrounded by kids. That is what our Parvati and Shiva, surrounded by kids. Right? So, goddess of marriage and birth, majestic matron, jealous wife like Parvati. Parvati is also very jealous. One more Subhashita, okay? Yes. Okay. Being a Sanskrit professor, you have to pardon me. Once what happened, she was very jealous of Ganga, who is seated on the jata of Shiva, on the head. Dokyar chadun basliye. Parvati has a place on the anka, in the lap. But Ganga dokyar basliye, right? So she was very jealous of Ganga. And Skanda, elder one, he knew that our mother doesn't like Ganga at all. So once, Yogiraj apne Bhole Baba dhyan mein baithe hai, he goes to him and he says, why are you having this Ganga on top of your head? You leave her, no? Why should she sit here all around, all the time? And then Shiva, he is, lost in his meditation. He doesn't even listen to. He is not bothered at all what happening surrounding and all. But Parvati, Ganga listens to her, to Skanda's plea and request. And when she says, what is that? Kim murdini sthita gangeya misrujyatam. Then she says, what will I do? Vidwan Shanmukha. You are called as Vidwan because you are 6 heads. With one head people can think, and we say man is a very intelligent creation of Brahma or the creator. With 6 heads, 6-fold more intelligence. Vidwan Shanmukha. Kaha gatir punaha me vada murdhri sthitaya chiram. From eternal times I have been staying on the head of your father. Where should I go? जाऊं तो जाऊं कहाँ अभी? इतने सालों से रह रही हूँ, कहाँ जाऊं? Then Kopaveshavashadasheshavadaneir Pratyuttaram Dattavan, with all 6 heads at one time, simultaneously, he replied to her, and from each mouth one word for ocean. Where should you go? Nadi has to go in the ocean. Patho dhir jaladhir payodhir udadhir varannidhir varidhi. By the way, this highlights the vocabulary of Sanskrit, the richness of Sanskrit language. While teaching the richness of Sanskrit language, normally I quote this verse. Okay. Patho dhir jaladhir payo dhir udadhir varannidhir varidhi. These are all the synonyms for the ocean, and with 6 heads, in fact, this was given as a samasya purti. Patho dhir jaladhir. Somebody gave this as samasya purti. Only one line is given. You have to construct the first 3 lines. Meaningful. Okay. So one poet composed this. The other poet composed some other verse. Who has multiple heads? Ravana. 10 names, right? And what is the occasion? When Ravana hears from the messengers that Rama has built the Setu. Satyam baddhaha apannidhi. Satyam? Are you telling me the truth? And then 4 nouns in the 3rd line, 6 nouns, whatever are here, Patho, Dhir, Jaladir. So 10 names of Samudra, of ocean. That is the beauty. Anyhow, so this is identified with Roman Juno and Greek goddess Hera, that is our Parvati, the benign aspect. Now comes the Durga image. The Durga image, Durga, Dukkhena Gantum Shakyate iti Durga. She is not easily accessible. Her shrines are on the mountains. She rides a tiger or a lion at the very side. Who will go near her? This is Pavam Annapurna. She sits behind Shiva on a bull, which is like a animal around our family, right? Very, very much like a pet person. But here is a tiger and a lion, ferocious. Who will go near her? And she has Ashtabhuja, 8 hands, and all fatal instruments, the ayudhas, the weapons in all 8 hands. Who will go near her? Such a terrifying form, right? So Durga, the inaccessible, rides a tiger or a lion, has multiple hands with multiple weapons, heroic in nature, very heroic. She doesn't wait for anybody. She accomplishes the task which is given to her single-handedly. Okay? She doesn't need anybody's help. Performs in the male-dominated field, that is the battlefield. It's a male-dominated field. Normally women don't go. Even if women go, they go as a Sarathi, like Satyabhama did the Sarathya for Krishna in Narakasuravadha, right? But they don't fight, like Kaikeyi did for Dasharatha, like that, but they don't fight. So this is a male-dominated field, but she went there, she goes there and proves to be superior to all other gods. She is the one who is Mahishasuramardini. She is the Dashabhuja, Ashtabhuja, Simhavahini, Chamunda, Shumbhani, Shudini, and so many other things. A cosmic queen. How she is decked. She has separate shrines for her, and there is no place for Shiva there. She alone rules. She is the Ishitri, Vashitri, everything. She alone conquers the everything. There is none else. Durga shrine is only Durga shrine. Shiva has no place there, right? So she maintains and destroys, identical with the Prakriti, Maya or Shakti, which is reproductive, which is creative, single-handedly, without Purusha's help. Maya or Prakriti, there are 23 evolutes of Prakriti from Mahat, Ahankara, Tanmatra, Panchamahabhuta, Dashendriya, etc., etc. So she is a battle queen empowered by various gods with their own weapons and therefore made inaccessible. One chakra of Vishnu, one Trishula, one Pinaka of Shiva, we cannot face. Then she has in 10 hands or 8 hands, 8 different weapons held by different gods like Pasha of Yama or Varuna. Who will face her? Who will go near her? She is very inaccessible and nobody can conquer her in the battle with the way she gets equipped herself. Shining attire, red, golden, yellow, very, very shining attire, all bedecked with jewels and all, and killer of beastly demonic instincts and dispeller of ignorance. Now the demonic instincts and all, we see the symbolism towards the end. Okay. So she is Durga, very difficult to approach. Then comes the Kali image, the Kali form. I feel, if you go to this Durga or this Ashtabhuja basically, I feel, she could be related to a working woman in the cities these days. Multitasking. She doesn't have multiple hands, but the way she takes care of so many things, guests are coming, the planning goes on. In Mumbai, etc., I spent my entire life in Mumbai, 65 years. Only last 8 years I am here. So I have been traveling with train, but continuously, you go catch a running train like 8:59 train. We never say it is 9 o'clock train. It is 8:59 train, right? Like that. Mumbai people only will know. And then she goes to the office, she works, again comes back home, cooks, laundry, cloth, then vessels, or taking care of the maid servants, grocery, this, that. Everything she manages, plus the homework of the kids. Father doesn't know which standard the child is learning. My husband is sitting here. He used to remember only, my elder son is in 8th standard, so younger one must be in 4th. He only tells it. This is not a story cooked by me. He only tells this. So that is, and once it so happened that, I was doing something, some guests were coming and my son, younger son, only her father, he was in 2nd standard, some homework, something, and I tell, don't bother me now, go and ask Baba. But does he know my mathematics? Father doesn't know anything. 2nd standard child also. So that is this thing. So multitasking. Can't you relate her with the multiple-handed Durga? She does all the things all alone. She is independent. Working woman is independent. She earns. Financial security or financial independence really makes a woman independent. That I learnt when I started working. Okay, so this is, we can relate her to that way. Okay, then comes Kali. Kali is the fierce image and dark complexion, fierce looking, wears skull garland. That is all Daravna hai, like terrifying, to inculcate fear in you. You can't go very near to her like that. Hair left loose, red eyes, the tongue lolling out. All these are her descriptions, not my descriptions. All are these descriptions here in the scriptures. And she deifies, the naked posture sometimes and only the skirt of human hands and the skulls. Defies tenderness. There is no tenderness, no delicacy, no that feminine thing, there is no feminine grandeur or grace or that Mardava she doesn't have. So she licks blood. She is Muktakeshi, Chinnamasta, Kapalini, all the fierce forms, Mahakali, Bhutanayaki. These are the names. This is her description. Named so due to her dark complexion, Kala, or she could be a consort of Kala, the time factor. Kala is time, okay? And therefore she is Kali, the death or time. She is the female counterpart of time, called Kala or Mahakala. Then severe form of Parvati's wrath. She is as if the wrath personified of a simple woman. Kali is a wrath, anger personified of a simple, so to say, subdued homemaker or a housewife. When she gets angry, nobody can face her anger. So don't arouse anger of women. Don't make them angry. They will turn into Kali. So worshipped by Shabara, the primitive hunter tribes. She is Matangi, by the way, there is one Matangi here. Then Tantric form, it is the Tantric form. In Tantra, Kali is like a mother. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa followed Kali. He worshipped Kali. And he blessed Vivekananda, Narendra also with the Kali's blessings. So in the Tantra, she is worshipped as a mother goddess. And she revels in flesh and blood sacrifices, etc. But in Kalika Purana, she is portrayed as a very loving goddess, a very benign form of her. But otherwise, she will stand on the corpse of the dead body, a corpse that is, it is, because she is the counterpart of Kala, she as if triumphs over the Kala, over the death. Kala is death. And therefore she triumphs over the death. So that is the symbolism for Kali. And when I look at Kali sometimes, Mukta Keshi and all that, I may not lie. Perhaps some people may not like this. I sometimes relate her in the modern days with all the feminist people, jhanda leke jate hai. Feminism, feminist people. And they are Mukta Keshi. They are not bothered, no bindi, no bangle, no mangal sutra, no this, no that. Pakka feminism. So I sometimes relate them with such. There is no tenderness, there is no, woman characters or those characteristics we hardly find in them. They feel themselves, as so great, and you must have come across some such people around you. I relate to them. And this is one of the reasons why I relate to them. My generation would relate to them because when we were young, our grandmothers used to tell us, don't keep your hair open and go around like this. Evening especially, you should not keep your hair open, right? So that is the samskara for me. In that generation I am born, and therefore I feel, like this Mukta Keshitva, it is like defiant nature. And Kesha, therefore, I sometimes, I had one student of mythology in Mumbai University some 25 years ago, and she did one picture presentation on Mukta Keshi, like the feminism in wildest form. Feminism in the wildest form. All the girls, all the caricatures, the posters, the art forms had loose hair. Loose hair is defiant. It is aggressiveness. And you want to oppose something, revolution, rebel against something. Then that is the symbolism of Kesha. And Kesha normally is, why in an Indian scenario we always have a very great feeling for the braids of Devi and the malas and all, because Kesha is very much associated with femininity. If it is let loose, if it is not tied, if it is not decorated, it is not feminine. Remember Draupadi left her hair loose because she was, jal rahi thi aag mein for revenge. Until that revenge gets accomplished, Dushasana gets killed, she won't tie the hair because she is in a defiant mode. That mode she doesn't want to change. If she comes back to normalcy, her husbands will forget what they have vowed for. So this is reminding them of their vow, pratipal. So that always, has that nature of rebel against the system, against the prescribed norms, etc. So Kesha has so much of symbolism in that. In general, the woman is known for fertility and garbha, and therefore the garbha in Navaratri, that is nothing but garbha, the jar filled with water having the green leaves and coconut signifies fertility. In fact, any jar filled, kumbha, akara, by its form also it resembles the udara, of a woman. Physically, it resembles the womb of a woman, and in the primitive society, people were buried in the jars. It is called urn, U-R-N, urns, and the raksha or the head, the bones, etc., are found in the excavations in the urns also. Okay, so that gives rise to the death and the janma, the punarjanma cycle. And Garbha is to felicitate Amba, is actually, Garbha to felicitate Amba in Navaratri is actually the Garbha. The 9 days represent the 9 months of pregnancy. Here also every day, Shardananji would explain to us that she is Brahmacharini, now she is married, Chandraganta, now she is Kushmanda, pregnant and all that, right? Then she is Skandamata. So 9 days are the 9 months. So this is the greatest time in the woman's life. And girls go round a pot with a lamp symbolizing the light within the soul. That could be the symbolism as well. Now this motherhood aspect, the fertility aspect is more emphasized in the woman, and therefore we have so many sculptures which are called Lajja Gauri. Have you come across that? Lajja Gauri. I have shown a very mild picture, otherwise, I don't want to show the other pictures, but you have all seen that, and only her genitals and her breasts are prominent. Her head doesn't matter. She is headless normally. There is such sculptures, they don't have the head portion, they have only the breast and the yoni, and many times from the yoni the vegetation, the ears of corn are emerging, or from her head, the lotus. Lotus symbolizes creation, by the way, because lotus comes from the moss, from the turbid water, right? And that is how the Garbha also comes from that amniotic fluid and all, right? It is all. Yeah. So, impersonation of Mother Earth is seen in the seals of Harappa. The Vedic seers adored Earth as Aditi and Prithvi, and modern scholars are doing research on the nature and characteristics of Aditi as Lajja Gauri, because Aditi is called Mahanagni in the Vedic literature. She is called Mahanagni, the great naked earth. Earth is naked. She gets the green garb only in the rainy season. Otherwise, she is the great naked Prithvi, Prathanat Prithvi, the widespread great naked earth. So this is the motherhood aspect. One who creates is responsible for nourishment also, and this gave rise to the mother goddess called the Matrukas. One who creates is responsible to nourish also. It is not only creation, discarding and going away. Nourishment also has to happen, and that gave rise to the Matrukas, the Sapta Matrukas, and they also have dual nature, benevolent and malevolent. In fact, Shakti has these two types, the benign and the malign. So this also, Matrukas also are benevolent as well as malevolent factor. And the benign form could be Yellamma. Yellamma is Yellara Amma. She is the mother of all. Yella is all. Amma, mother. Yellara Amma. From my mother's side, Yellamma is our Kuladevi. So benign Yellamma in Karnataka, Yamai, I just told you, in Satara in Maharashtra, Ambaji in Gujarat, Amman in South India are all the benign forms. And the fierce forms are like Mariamma or other, where, all these are fierce forms. They are also Matrukas only, but fierce form. And fecundity aspect, that the fertility aspect is seen in the 7 Saptamatruka or Ashtamatrukas. Then Navadurgas, that is, these are all the fecundity, the fertility aspect. Then the Dashamahavidyas and 64 Yoginis. So these are the cults, 64 Yoginis, Dashamahavidyas, then Navadurgas and Sapta or Ashtamatrukas. These are all associated with the benevolent aspect of Shakti. And they are the goddesses of children, warfare as well as liberation at the same time. And this concept is not there only in the Hinduism, only in Bharata. When I went to Sri Lanka in 2016, 10 years back, I saw in the temples the 7, 8 figures, mother figures. They are called mother goddesses only. So all over the world we have this aspect of mother goddesses, okay? And the fierce aspect sometimes comes in the form of the folk or the rural aspect of the Devi, especially Vindhyavasini, Saptashrungi, Vanichi Saptashrungi in Maharashtra. And they are, like disembodied spirits. They don't have body, only mukhauta, only the face. Only the mukha is there. There is no body. Okay. So disembodied, and they represent some vague aspect of the sorry, the mountain gorge or the wild spirit. So the folk and tribal culture, normally they are the worshippers of this sort of fierce, big eyes, like this big, all red or sindura or red color. Only eyes are prominent. Nothing else is prominent, and so fierce. Who will go near such Ambaji? But these are also in the high mountains, like inaccessible and all. So this is the folk and the tribal culture is seen being Hinduized and fused with the Vedic and the Puranic trends. Sometimes people say Parvati, she is also such folk deity because she is Parvatasya Kanya. She has to be like rough, rugged and disembodied, only figure, only face and all. But after she married Shiva, which is the prototype of Rudra, the Vedic Rudra, she was Hinduized or came into the Vedic or the Puranic fold. So various sects synthesized and the Devi elevated and got religious popularity. That is what is said about it. Now we have, the counterparts of all these. Hera we saw as the counterpart of, in the Greek pantheon, the Olympian gods. Hera is the counterpart of Parvati. We have counterpart of Mahalakshmi, just to tell you, Aphrodite, the Greek goddess Aphrodite. She is the goddess of beauty, the goddess of nourishment, pleasure and abundance. She is the goddess of abundance. And like Mahalakshmi, she also came out of the sea. How many similarities are there? You can, just go on comparing. They are so very similar. She came from her, why she is known as Aphrodite or Aphrodite? Aphros, A-P-H-R-O-S, means the foam of the sea. She came out from that and therefore she is known as Aphrodite. That is, Mahalakshmi also came from the Ksheerasagara Manthana, right? And so this is as good as a Roman goddess of beauty, that is Venus. So there are so many similarities. We had in Mumbai University a course called, we have still, postgraduate diploma in comparative mythology. So we had Greek mythology, Roman mythology, comparing with the Hindu traditions, Hindu narratives. Then there is a counterpart of Saraswati as well in the Greek pantheon. She is Athena. Athena. Athena is the goddess Athena. From her, Athens, the name Athens, Greek city, Athens. So, a counterpart of Saraswati. And this is the Greek goddess of inspiration. However, Sharadamba is goddess of inspiration, wisdom, as well as art. She is Veena Vadini, like Saraswati. Okay. And literature, art, literature, inspiration, law, justice, everything like Saraswati is. And she is the goddess of warfare and strategy also. Athena is the goddess of warfare. So like Indian goddesses, the Greek goddesses they also have this triad of goddesses. The Hera, Aphrodite and Athena, like Parvati, Lakshmi and Saraswati. Okay. Now, just to come to the conclusion. So, I told you that this Mahishasuramardini killed so many demons and all. Of course, in the Durga Saptashati Patha, you get all that symbolism. So, the demons represent the impulses arising from the pursuit of ego. Mahishasura is the greatest of them, okay? Madhukaitabha, for example, Madhukaitabha Nishodini, Madhukaitabha, they are self-evolving tamasic trait. They are self-evolving tamasic trait. Mahishasura is the brute animal force, and therefore he comes in the form of Mahisha, the animal. The brute animal force. Dhumralochana is the ego and pride, because when you are so very egoistic, our vision gets blurred. We can't see anything beyond ourselves, our ego, right? So dhumra, like dhua, like dhumra, it covers our vision and eyesight. It doesn't allow us to see what's behind. Similarly, dhumralochana, ego and pride. Chandamunda represent anger and arrogance. Chandamunda are anger and arrogance. Raktabija is the vikshepaka Shakti of Maya, that is the karma, because from every blood drop, new Raktabija emerges. That is the vikshepaka Shakti of Maya. You know, Maya is Dvividha, Avarana Shakti and Vikshepaka Shakti. So, Swaswarupa Tirodhana Kari, Vividha Vichitra Vikshepakari Maya. That's how Shankaracharya describes her. Swaswarupa Tirodhanakari, one which veils our own real nature. So that is avidya, which veils our vidya, our true nature, and Vividha Vichitra Vikshepakari, one who creates this multiple world, the multiplicity and duality around us, that is Vividha Vichitra Vikshepa, that is Maya. And Shumbha Nishumba are intoxication, lust and jealousy. So these are all demonic forces, these are all Asuri Sampat, and Devi comes to kill, to annihilate the Asuri Sampat and create Daivi Sampat in all. So in general, this is benign and malign. This was the bottom line of the lecture, right? The benign and malign forms of the Shakti. How Shakti could be used or abused, mal-used, right? Abused. We abuse Shakti. We abuse Bhumi Mata. We don't take care of her. We just grab everything from her. So these are the two things. And now I really come to an end. The harmful aspect of rivers also, we saw it in the morning, so I won't do it again. And goddesses and women. From textual analysis to cultural analysis, relationship between literature and life, between divine female and human female. Divine female is goddess, Devi, and human female, we all, ladies here. Okay? So Devi is an empowering role model for all of us. Devi is an empowering role model for all of us, and concept of Devi when translated to human level is women. Striyas Samasta. And Devi serving the spiritual empowerment of women. In the Vedic period, sacrificer's wife, Yajamana Patni, had a special significance. And all the yajnas were performed only by the grihasthas, never by the sannyasins and never by a bachelor who doesn't have a wife. So sacrificer and his wife, they both have to be there. She was identified with goddess earth. Yajamana Patni was identified with goddess earth in the Shrauta Sutras. In the Puranas, women are said to have some portions of goddess for their manifestations. Okay? And the points of similarity between all the human Devis and the divine Devis are three basically. It is materiality, the Prakriti, incredibility, Maya. Women are incredible. They are unpredictable, incomprehensible at times, right? And the third is fecundity or sexuality, the creative aspect, which is Shakti, Prakriti and Maya. Maya is incredible, okay? And therefore we call her Sad Asat Anirvachaniya. You can never say it is or it is not. It is beyond is and is not. Anirvachaniya Khyati. So this could be formulated into Vidya and Avidya of Mundakopanishad, Dve Vidye Veditavye Paracha Paracha, or Vidya and Avidya also, the creative aspect and the destructive aspect. And by Vidya one attains Vidyaya Amritatvameti, By Vidya one attains Brahman, and by Avidya he gets entangled in the samsara, the cycle of births and deaths time and again. Thus both the positive and the negative aspect, these two are the two sides of the same coin. They are not two different, they are the two sides of the same coin. And women, they mediate between the nature and the culture. This is a very nice sentence, I like it. Nature is what Prakriti is. We culture it. Culture or cultura is a green word that is to cultivate, to till the land. In fact, you must have heard those who were in the conference, in the culture panel, I think somebody, Anuradha or somebody went to the etymology of the word culture, right? So cultura, to cultivate. And therefore you say, when you cultivate and create something, it becomes a culture, tissue culture. The curd which we use to make curds, we mix it in the milk, and then the next day the curd, that is called culture. That's what Ramakrishnananji said, right? So in America they have gone the Indian culture, that is the dahi, the curd, to make dahi for their next day. So this is, women are nature, what their nature is and how they cultivate themselves to be. I mean, by nature they are benign, they are like Parvati, they cultivate themselves, they make themselves into Durga, sometimes into Kali. That is all cultured, that is all cultivated or made, right? So what is the Swabhavika, the natural, and what is artificial? The Swabhavikata of women, of Devi aspect is femininity, the creativity. And then we say, no, free, my life, my choice, I don't want to marry, I don't want to get children, my choice, my body, my choice. I don't want to undergo any pain, labor pain and all that, I won't have children of my own, my choice. So, but then we are doing harm to the natural inclination of creativity thereby. That is my old generation thought. So, untamed female nature, untamed. When it is tamed, it becomes Parvati, very accessible. She is the nourisher, the feeder, the spouse, the mother and all. I mostly adore Parvati form. Untamed female nature could be socially disastrous and dangerous. Untamed. Then there Muktakeshi. Jenda uncha, like feminism ka jenda. I will end with two things. One is a verse which I found in Pune. There is a hillock called Parvati. On the Parvati hillock there is a museum, and the museum houses some artifacts, some letters of Peshwas. So when I went first time to Parvati, I saw in that under the glass, a very beautiful verse. It was composed during the Nana Sahib Peshwa's rule, and the verse is so beautiful, I want to quote it here. This in a way, it eulogizes or praises the Maratha rule, which had gone from Atak to Katak, from east to west. The whole of the Bharatavarsha was under the Maratha rule till Tanjore here in the south. And Tanjore, even now the Bhosles are ruling. I have met one Shivaji Bhosle in 2015. So they still are Bhosle, the rulers, right? So that was the Maratha reign, and to praise that, Vaktragre Veda Lakshmihi. When the Pandits etc. they speak, the Vedas they speak out. Vaktragre Veda Lakshmihi, Karatala Kamale Sarvada Dana Lakshmihi. They were the givers. In the Raman Bagh they used to sit and give donations to everybody, Peshwas. Karatala Kamale Sarvada Dana Lakshmihi, Dordande Veera Lakshmihi, Bahubala. Dordande Veera Lakshmihi, Hridaya Sarasije, Bhuta Karunya Lakshmihi. In heart, all compassion and love for all. Sarvange Saumya Lakshmihi, a mild and assuring nature, in all the body. Nikhila guna gana dambare kirti lakshmi. If you go on praising them, kirti lakshmi, then there are so many gunas. Guna gana adambara. The gana, the group or the host of the gunas, you go on trumpeting those and the kirti won't stop. Guna gana adambare kirti lakshmi, khadgagre shaurya lakshmi. On the tip of the sword lies the shaurya, the valor. Jayatu vijayate sarva samrajya lakshmi. Let this rule, jayatu vijayate, let it spread all over. Now I'll end, coming to the closure of this and beginning of your Shamala Dandaka from tomorrow. When we recite the Ashtottara Shatanamavali in the Illam every day, there are two names of Shankaracharya which I want to bring forth here. Om Kancham Shri Chakra Rajakhya Yantra Sthapana Dikshitaya Namaha. He is the one who established the Chakra Raja, that is Shri Chakra. It is the Raja Chakra, Shri Chakra Raja Yantra Sthapana Dikshitaya Namaha. And what we praise throughout every verse and all together of Saundarya is Shri Chakra, Shri Vidya Upasana. And Shri Chakratmaka Tatanka Toshitamba Manorathaya Namaha. He is the one, Shankaracharya, when he went to Jambukeshwara near Trichy and saw Akhilandeshwari demanded the Shri Chakra Tatanka and he adorned her with Shri Chakra Tatanka. Tatanka are the earrings. So Shri Chakra Tatanka, Shri Chakratmaka Tatanka, Toshita Amba Manorathaya. Amba's Manoratha he fulfilled. So, Tasmai Shri Shankaracharya Namaha. I will end with this. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.